In the tender embrace of a verdant morn, when the sun's blush adorned the earth newborn, a tableau wove its delicate thread, a babe cradled in an ancient tree's arms, it said. Nestled within a bird's haven of twig and leaf, safe and secure, in nature's tender relief. A single feather, brown and earthy hue, resting upon the babe's chest, a token true. As morning unfolded her wings of gold, the sky's canvas, a sight to behold. A silhouette graced the sapphire expanse, the Great Turul, in majestic dance. With regal grandeur, its flight took flight, marking the heavens with ethereal light. Its cry, a clarion call, resounding far and near, awakening the forest, dispelling slumber's fear. O, Great Turul, symbol of strength and grace, a spirit soaring, a presence we embrace. In this tapestry of life, nature's vibrant art, you remind us of the unity that binds every heart. As seasons embroidered time with their indelible threads, the baby in the tree evolved into a tale of growth and grit. Under the watchful eye of the great bird, and the ancient tree's protective bark, the boy named Turul blossomed into a young man. His physique was that of a mountain, formidable and enduring, etched by the chisels of nature into a sculpture of strength and agility. His eyes held a fierce gleam, reflecting the burning spirit of the rebellion that whispered in the winds of his homeland. Tana, the village chief, adopted the orphan as his own son. He himself was a man carved from resilience and wisdom, the seasoned bark to Turul's thriving sapling. The love he bore for his adopted son was as deep and wide as the village well, a testament to the strength of bonds, formed not by blood, but by shared dreams and harmonious spirits. The boy was trained, not just to the mantle of leadership, but to the legacy of the rebellion that stirred their hearts. Under Tana's tutelage, Turul's raw strength was honed into a disciplined force. The whispers of revolt were no longer winds that blew across the land. They were becoming an anthem of change that was beginning to stir within the hearts of the oppressed. As Turul stepped across the threshold of adolescence, his body began its transformation, an echo of the revolution of his spirit. His framework, although slender, bore an intricate tapestry of muscles, carefully wrought from the unwavering rhythm of discipline and perseverance. Each part of him was a visual sonnet dedicated to the raw beauty of nature's elements. His broad shoulders, formed from layers of unyielding sinew, were reminiscent of the robust mountains that guarded their lands, a silent promise of protection. His arms, veined and corded, held the strength of ancient oaks, their roots embedded deep within the earth, unyielding and steadfast against the most ruthless of storms. His expansive and firm chest was adorned with sculpted muscles that rose and fell like the gentle swells of their homeland's rolling hills. It carried a strength, an endurance that echoed the relentless journey of the river, carving its path through the dense forest and imposing mountains. The lean contours of his abdomen bore the hallmark of a sculptor's precise chisel, each ridge defined and hardened from the countless trials of his training. They whispered of the wind's playful dance across the meadow, the ripple of wheat in the fields, lithe yet full of life's vibrant energy. His legs, long and sinewy, were as robust as the deep-rooted trunks of the ancient trees, bearing the weight of his mission, his dream, and his rebellion with unwavering resolve. They were the pillars of his strength, a reflection of his agility, the embodiment of the relentless march towards freedom. Turul wrestled with the older boys of the village, his agile form, dancing with the grace of a summer breeze, and striking with the force of a winter storm. Each match was more than a test of strength, but a challenge of his unyielding spirit. Even against boys older, larger, more experienced, he held his own, his determination etched on his brow, his will steadfast in his gaze. No opponent was too formidable for him, no challenge too great. Each contest saw him emerge stronger, in physical strength and determination. He was not a wrestler, in the traditional sense. He was a symbol of the unquenchable spirit of rebellion. His victories were celebrated, not as personal achievements, but as shared triumphs of the village. Throughout these exertions, the boy stood shirtless, under the sky's expansive gaze, clad only in ragged breeches that allowed the elements to kiss his skin. His skin, bronzed from the sun's relentless caress, bore the tales of each day's toil. A life steeped in the rigor of discipline had molded him into a statue of living stone, the expression of a spirit unyielding as the ancient tree, resilient as the oxen that plough the fields, and liberated as the Great Turul, soaring in the boundless sky. Labor in the sun-blessed fields had molded the boy's form, each task a chisel shaping his emerging physique. The earthy rhythm of the land, its cyclic dance of life and death, rebirth and renewal, had imprinted itself onto his being. His muscles bore the memory of the field's constant pulse, the witness of his ceaseless work beneath the heaven's watchful eye. Turul was no stranger to the exertion of felling trees for wood. The heavy axe became an extension of his being, each swing an expression of his strength. The echoing thud of the axe biting into the heartwood was a rhythmic duet of man and nature, of power and surrender. His muscles flexed and danced with each stroke, the defined contours of his back coming to life with every pull and release. His arms, sculpted by countless repetitions, gripped the axe handle with a strength born of familiarity and respect. Then came the task of hauling the large logs, a burden that would bend lesser men. With only the bark's rough touch against his sweat-slicked skin as a company, he hoisted the logs onto his broad shoulders. His every sinew strained, the muscles of his back etched deep lines of power, and his legs bore the weight with the resilience of mountain roots. The forest watched in silent reverence, the wind hushing its whispers to honor the tableau of pure, raw strength. Years of training in the art of combat had further honed his form. It had refined his raw strength, compartmentalized his muscle groups into chiseled sections of power, each serving a unique purpose in the ballet of battle. His shoulders bore the burden of defense, each muscle standing guard like a sentinel. His arms were the twin harbingers of attack, their biceps coiled springs of power, and forearms agile as a serpent's strike. His abdomen, a wall of iron resolve, bore the lines of a soldier's courage, and his legs, twin pillars of mobility, carved from countless hours of footwork and endurance training. Turul was more than a youth graced with a robust physique. He was the symbol of a spirit forged in the crucible of discipline. an unwavering will, chiseled by the relentless hammering of time and trials, and a body that was the living testament to the silent, steadfast rebellion that resided in his heart.